अनुग्रहित करें अपने विचारों से। मैडम।
Thank you, Chanchal Tiwari. Good afternoon to all. My best wishes to all present here on the Constitution Day. The reason for commemorating Constitution Day is that on 26 November 1949, a few provisions of the Constitution of India came into force, while the rest of the provisions were enforced from 26th January 1950. The Constituent Assembly that framed the Constitution, keeping in mind the needs and the requirements of the people of India. And it took almost 3 years to complete the Constitution of India, which had undergone various deliberations and debates in the Assembly. We all know that ours is the longest, ours is the lengthiest written Constitution. And the original text of the Constitution that contained of 395 articles, which are divided into 22 parts and 8 schedules in the original Constitution. Now there are 12 schedules in the Constitution instead of 8. Many new articles have been inserted, as well as some of the articles have been deleted and removed also through various amendments. So the Constitution which we are talking about is an idea of the highest order, which determines the whole legal and political order of a country. It is the fundamental and supreme law of the land that determines the genesis of the statutes as to how the law is to be made, who will make the law. And it also determines the different organs of the state. Now, we all know the 3 organs, the judiciary, the legislature, and executive. So that the determining body is that contained in this Constitution of India. The procedure of legislation and their constitutionality are all the parts of the Constitution of India. Then regarding Constitution, Aristotle once said that Constitution is a way of life the state has chosen for itself. So everything that is we are having today, that is because of this Constitution. And the Constitution gives a political structure to the country. It is the touchstone, or we can say it is something on the basis of which the laws which are to be made by the legislature, those are to be checked. The Constitution is the most important legal document of the country. It helps to maintain law and order in the country. And the Constitution, as I told you, it's not only a legal document, it's a political document as well as a social document also. If there would be no Constitution, then everyone in the country, the institutions as well as the government will act arbitrarily. So there would be no limitations as such on the working of the state organs if there would be no Constitution. As we know that a country without constitutionalism, or to say without limitation on the powers, will result into the reign of anarchy. So the Constitution is that light through which these organs of the state are being limited and controlled and supervised. They are working according to the provisions of the Constitution. Or we can say that without a Constitution, there will be anarchy in the state or the country. So Constitution is like that light at the end of the tunnel, where from we can see that, yes, these are the provisions which are to be followed, which are to be observed in order to have a systematic system of the governance also. Therefore, the importance and the relevance of the Constitution, it cannot be understated. One question that may come to your mind or in the mind of the everyone as to how relevant is the Constitution in today's society, which is now 72 years old. As I told you, it was adopted in 1949. So the simple answer to this question of regarding the relevance, regarding the importance of the Constitution is the Constitution being the supreme and fundamental law of the country, and the authors of this Constitution made this Constitution immortal by adding the provisions relating to the amendment that is required for meeting the needs of the societal changes, because we all know that the society is not static. society changes according to situations. So a law which was meant or which was made in 1949, how far it would be relevant in today's scenario. So for that, this amendment provision is the best part of the Constitution. And this is the document that guides the three organs of the state, of, that is the legislature, executive, and judiciary, in their day-to-day operation also. And Constitution is a document that protects the fundamental human rights of the persons so that they can live a life with dignity, irrespective of their religion, their race, caste, sex, or place of birth. And this is a document which, besides thrusting on the rights of the citizens, also it has embedded certain duties that the citizens are required to adhere to as well. You see that the duties towards the nation, duties towards the national anthem, national flag, and above all, to abide by the Constitution itself. It's not the duty that the citizen has to not to go by the Constitution, they have to abide by the Constitution also. This is one of the fundamental duty and the very first fundamental duty of every citizen. Then duties towards the nature, that is flora, fauna, to protect and improve the natural environment, forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and many more living creatures. They have to have the compassion towards the living creatures. This is the fundamental duty and part of the Constitution. Then to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired the national struggle for freedom. What we are doing today, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So this is one of the fundamental duty. We have to cherish those things. We have to follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. And we have to uphold the and to protect the sovereignty, the unity and integrity of the nation, that is of India. And at the same time, one of the duty of every citizen under this Constitution is to defend the country. As you are the persons belonging to that forces, so you may be better aware that how to defend the country and to render the national services when called upon to do so. To promote the harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, because we all know that India is a country of diversity, different type of the caste, race, religion, persons, they are here. So how to promote the common brotherhood, how to bring that spirit of the harmony, that is one of the fundamental duty of in the Constitution for every citizen. At the same time, to renounce the practices that are derogatory to the dignity of women. This is also one of the fundamental duty. But by going through various news items, various clips, we see that this particular duty is not being followed, observed by the citizens at large. Being a woman, I can understand that how the dignity of the women is being not taken up as a duty by the citizen of the country. Then one of the duty of the citizen is to value and to preserve the rich heritage and the composite culture of the country. So India is also having very rich heritage, and that has to be preserved. That is also the duty of every citizen. And besides that heritage, the government property, the state property, the national property, that is also to be preserved. That is one of the idea behind that, because we are a democratic nation and various types of the rights have been conferred upon the citizens and the people as a whole. So we have to preserve that rich heritage of this composite culture also. And to develop the scientific temper, that is the spirit of the inquiry and reform, because now we are moving towards the industrial 4.0. Technology is there, artificial intelligence is coming in, so various type of the things. So this is one of the duty also, to develop the scientific temper. And this is not only a duty, but it is a human right also to share the benefits of the science. And if we can develop this scientific temper in the people, this would also be very important to develop the humanism. We are having the scientific and technological advancement, but the creation which is being made for that, if it is not to be misused, then naturally it would be developing the humanism. I'm talking in reference to the surrogacy, and at the same time, I'm also talking in reference to the amniocentesis or the prenatal cases wherein the female feticides are being killed. So these fundamental duties are the part of this constitution of these. We are celebrating the day today, that is the Constitution Day, and the rise of the nation to the higher levels, that is also the duty on the basis of which every individual, every citizen has to endeavor for that achieving that thing. So every citizen is duty bound to strive towards the excellence in all spheres of the individual as well as the collective activities. So until and unless we observe these duties, until and unless we know these duties, we should not cherish what the Constitution is, because we will be speaking only of the rights, then it will not do. We have to perform the duties at the same time. And this is the document which also ensures, besides these duties, that is to uphold the welfare of its citizens. Because the Constitution, it can be said to be a social contract between the government and the governed. The true spirit of the Constitution resides in its very preamble. Preamble that contains the ideals, the objectives, and the pattern of government, and also the style of governance, the sovereign, socialism, secularism, democratic republic. These are the ideals, these are the pattern of the government, that we will be having a democratic or the parliamentary form of the government, will be a republic, we will be sovereign, our republic parliamentary sovereignty would be based on the secularism and socialism. So the Constitution, which was designed to break, I should say, the shackles of the traditional social hierarchies, and to usher a new era of freedom, equality, and justice, because we all know that we were in the slavery of the Britishers for more than 2 centuries. So this Constitution is a product of the outcome of that slavery, which spoke about this, the equality, freedom, and justice also, and which was the dream of the authors of the Constitution. I'm not, I just do not use the father of the Constitution, because being a woman, I always of the opinion that there were many women also in the Constituent Assembly. So putting father is not a correct word. So I always use the word authors of the Constitution, or the makers or framers of the Constitution. So this was the dream of the makers of this Constitution. And if I talk the role of the Constitution, then everyone being citizen must be knowing the importance of a Constitution for an independent nation. This idea of the Constitution presupposes an unbridgeable distance between the people and the state. The Constitution helps the powerless, vulnerable people, and need the help to control the state power. Further, the judiciary we see in India is keeping pace with time to enhance the relevance of the Constitution. So when the text of the Constitution is unambiguous and clear, it sounds can be easily interpreted. But when the Constitution is silent on any right, immunity, or privilege, or any form of the distribution of powers, because Constitution is consisting of all these things. So then come the questions of the interpretation of the Constitution. And what I should say to that, to give the sound to the silences of those Constitution. You know, the idea of originalism and textualism, which is a counter approach of the living Constitution, is that the Constitution means no more or no less what it meant to those who originally wrote and ratified it. So the makers of the Constitution, by the makers of the Constitution, and the judicial contribution in making our Constitution as living Constitution is very important. A living Constitution, that is the idea where the text is interpreted in the light of the current time, culture, and societal needs and demands. And the theorists, that is the original theorists, they argued that the meaning of the constitutional text is fixed and that it should bind constitutional actors, while living constitutionalist argues that the constitutional law can and should evolve in response to the changing circumstances and values. And this we could see by the interpretation of Article 21. Everybody must be aware about that, which speaks about the right to life and personal liberty. It is only the 18 words article, that is, no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. And this is the beauty of the interpretation of this right to life, that it is now emerging in more than 18 rights within itself, that life includes so many things. The pollution-free environment, the right to dignity, the right to privacy, the right to information. So many rights are the part of Article 21 now because of this living concept of the Constitution. Now, the importance of the Constitution can be checked and gauged with how effective it is in its performance. So as I told you that we, the people of India, adopted this constitution on 26th November 1949. Since then, this is Suprema Lex, the supreme law of the land, not challenged. So this is effective in its performance. How valuable it is for its followers that we the people of India. So we know that the golden thread through which our constitution is woven is the idea of social justice. The provisions in part 3 and part 4, that is the fundamental rights and the directive principles of the state policy, they are valuable for both the governing bodies and the governed. Then how brilliantly it solves the emergent conditions. And we know that ours is a constitution that is unique. It works as unitary in emergency situations and federal in normal situations, because there are the provisions for the emergency also. At that time, the entire nation becomes unitary, while on the normal times, it is federal in nature. It has the provisions which fulfills the criteria of separation of powers. Every organ has to work under its jurisdiction. But at the same time, you see, it also has the provisions to meet the emergent conditions, and it allows the administrative rulemaking, it allows the administrative adjudication, ordinances can be issued, delegated legislation can be made. Then under this administrative adjudication, the authority is given to constitute the tribunals are adjudicating upon. So while we have the constitutional courts, Supreme Court and High Courts in the state, at the same time we have the subordinate courts, but the administrative tribunals are working. So this is only just to meet the emergent conditions brilliantly. This is the beauty of the Constitution. Then how equitably it protects the vulnerability. So the equality right, which is the first fundamental right in the chapter of fundamental rights, is the core to protect the vulnerability. It provides special provisions as affirmative action or positive discrimination to protect the vulnerable classes of the society. Those are socially and educationally backward. Those are economically weaker sections, women, children, aged, disabled. They all have the right to be a part of the mainstream by this inclusive policy. And at the same time, if you see that equality of status and opportunity is the preambular objective too, as its important value. And besides that, we see justice, the social, economic, and political justice, liberty of thought, expression, and fraternity. You must have, read today this preamble to the Constitution of India. So these are the values which we find in the Constitution. Further, the progressive interpretation undertaken by the judiciary, that is underpinning the social values, constitutional morality, constitutional conventions, and above all the constitutionalism. That is only because we have a constitution. A country without a constitution will ultimately plunge into the chaos. And we will never, because we have the basic structure rule. And our constitution is said to be a living constitution. Ours is a constitution which is not a finished product. and we will celebrate this day forever. With these words, I stop myself because there would be no end if one will start speaking on the Constitution, which has given us the freedom to speak, subject to, of course, with some restrictions, because we are social animals and need to behave in a democratic nation with, of course, our right to dissent. So thanks one again that I could share my thoughts on this day, which is a festival for the law people. And today I got one message through WhatsApp and I like that very much. I would like to read that for you also. कभी फुर्सत मिले तो पढ़ना मुझे, मैं तुम्हारी हर समस्या का मुकम्मल समाधान हूँ, मैं भारत का संविधान हूँ. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.